L-U-M-I-Z. Okay, I see it set aside L-U-L-Z. So it's probably considering that option. Also, I see Weibin with the first bingo, with the first blank of the game. Yes, LULZ, lulls for 26 points is what we should be seeing right now. All right, and it has been committed. All right, blank as well as letter Fidegn. A rather. Okay, this looks very synergic, and I think we should be seeing a bingo come down. Something like foliaged for 65 or gas filled through the L or finagled. Yes, but I think we should be seeing the one bingo come down. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's note for those of you just joining us, we just had Weibin on stream earlier on, and the game was a very explosive one. You know, he had explosive plays, although his opponent had the upper hand, you know, and managed to steal the win. But again, he's an amazing player. He's a player to look out for. He should not be underestimated. As well as Ezinore George, you know, we've had him on stream, and his plays, optimal plays, too wonderful. You know, these two players, I really can't wait to see how this game pans out. Exactly. I really do feel the same. These two players are of top level, and I'm really expecting an explosive play from both players. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so he's yet to commit any move, and I'm curious to see why is that. Do you think there's a possibility he has not made it? Do you know why exactly he has not made any move yet? Maybe he's looking to see you know, the options that he has. Okay, but because in the last game we did see that he missed a couple of moves he could make. So looks like that's Gadflies. Gadflies 67 points. Interesting. All right, Gadfly 67 points, the first bingo of the game, and the first blank of the game used as well. CEEIMNQ. All right, we see CINQ set aside, so we might be seeing thanks through the S of Gadflies, yeah, from 6 for 30. All right, so that has been committed for George for 30 points. Now we have IWDEOFE for Weibin. Okay, so I think you can play Dowie, DOWIE, from the G of Gadflies and the A of Gadflies. So you could play Dowie coming down to the triple word lane, and the I hooking the G and the E hooking the A. I think that scores about 36 points, leaving EF. Another option might be to play, I think, wifey. Should I call this wifey? Through the high of, and you could play that for 30 points actually. So a couple of options here you might be considering. Also, through the Z of laws, you could play Zoe for 25 points, but we see him going for the best choice of Dobie for 35 points, 36 points. Sheesh, one would really hate to be George right now as he has just one vowel, the letter E, and he has clunky tiles YVPXM. Uh, he does have an option of Pixie through the eye for 40 points, keeping CMV, or Pyemic for 38 points, keeping VX.
Yeah, either ways, I think he can score pretty well in this turn. Either playing Chimic, like you said, or Pixie. I think Pixie scores more for 14 points, but I'm a little bit concerned with what that will be leaving. I believe is CMV.
Yeah, I think if he's able to spot the move of Pyamic, keeping just V and X, I think that would get him out of this sticky situation. And he will still be scoring 38 points.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, for people in the chat, let us know what you think. Let us hear your suggestions. Let's see who you're rooting for. Let's see where you're chatting from. Just engage in the chat, like and subscribe to the channel.
You might be considering the Pixie move, and I think that is exactly what he is going for. Pixie for 40 points it is. Now back to Weibin with a rack of NTOAFEU. Okay, now this is you could play probably facets through the Pixie that is just newly played by George with the F hook in the Y and the Fasi ACIE coming down.
I think Facet scores quite a lot, 51 points.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we see you from Colorado, USA. Thanks for joining. Make sure you like and subscribe and continue watching.
All right. We might be seeing Facet come down, but if we do not, Noctua, same spot for 35 points, keeping EF. I think the scores it could take, the I scores that it has, the I scores that have, the plays that have I scores would be to play to the C.
Yeah, definitely. I do think so. But I think playing Noctua might it does take S, so it will be something he might be considering if he wants to play that. So I see him set aside FAET. So he might be considering facets.
I think Facet should be the move. 51 points is, a lot, and
Yeah,
I don't want to pass on that.
definitely. Looking at George Rag, I see he's running to an issue. He has clunky tiles. In fact, all consonants and no
I
vowels.
think that's what I'll call it, sticky situation. MCVRBRM. In the last movie, tried to manage um, manage the rack, but I think now it will have no option but to change. And we see facets come down for 51 points.
Okay, so we see George changing
All
all
its tiles.
tiles almost
Yes,
immediately.
I really don't think there's any need to waste time on that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's back to Waving. Current score is 96 for George and 154 for Waving.
OUNIWOT.
Blank to TOINOUW blank. I see he has picked the second blank of the game. Yes. So I noticed Waving picked excess, and unfortunately for him, he didn't pick out the blank, and now he's left with TOINUW blank. And I think he has a bingo of our twins. Interesting. It could play out when through the D of Dori. Another option might be to play. Okay, this is WHODUNIT
Word
for.
unit, word unit, word unit. Yeah,
Okay,
62
this
points.
both words cost 62 points, both through the D of Dory. Oh wow, interesting. I think I've seen some amazing words that I'm not really familiar with from this game so far. So word unit is a word I would be adding to my notes. Amazing, amazing play from Weibin. So word unit is confirmed for 62 points.
And then we see G's, 35 points, keeping EILRR calm down. Current scores 96 for George and Weibin 216.
Okay, I think somebody said who done it. Okay, I think that might be the pronunciation.
I wonder what that means.
I wonder the same too.
Oh, okay. So it seems like Who Done It is a detective story play or film.
Oh, interesting.
Amazing. I think that's the beauty. That's one of the intriguing things about Scrabble. You know, you get to learn more things and improve your vocabulary.
Definitely, I learn every day. Now, I after G's, I think is
Waving turn to play.
the rap of CEEPSVY. What are his options, Colin?
CP, CP47 forming facets with the E, CP for 47, and it might decide not to cash, in the S and just play something as simple as YEVE for 31.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but I think he will be looking to play underneath facets as it can't play next to G's because it doesn't have the vowels, it doesn't have the A or the O to play there.
Yeah.
Although Eve also plays in another spot underneath Who Done It, but it scores just 25, which is not much.
Okay, easier to commit.
Yeah, I think they're having issues with the timer. I think they're about to fix that now. So as soon as we can, the timers will be back up on our screens. Again, if you're just joining, this is the World English Club Players Association Championship happening here in Accra, Ghana. This is the main event. We had the Sika Gold event on stream the other time, and yes, we saw some players from that event. But now this is the main event, and we have George Ezinore and Weibin Toh on stream. And current scores: Ezinore is 131 to Weibin's 216. Again, drop a like, let us know where you're chatting from, let us know what you think, what move you would make. Yes, keep interacting with us in the chats. And to everyone who has interacted so far, to everyone who has been following, thank you so much for following. We really appreciate it. All right, looks like Waving is thinking long and hard on what to do on this turn.
I think he might have considered give, but he probably doesn't want to give a lot back to his opponent, considering that does open the new triple lane right beneath the move. Okay, thank you so much. We see the timers are back on, and I see he set aside give, but he's still taking his time on that one.
I mean, Eve underneath facet scores 31. But if he does it right beneath who done it, he scores 25. That's 6 points less. So I don't know, is it worth sacrificing? I mean, it's up in the game, but then the game is not over yet. Although we have two blanks on board already, um, three unseen S's, excluding the one on Weibin's rack. The J is on the board, the Z, the Q, the X. The K is the only biggie left in the bag. So yes, I'm really curious to see how this game pans out.
Yeah, definitely. I do feel the same. I see he has been hesitating a lot. So he's he's been very careful on this particular turn.
Yeah. Looks like he wants to play Yves because he has it set aside. Yves scores 37, and that leaves him with TC.
I'm not sure I would want to play Yves, but I think he's going for it anyways for 37 points. Interesting choice.
I mean, it's easier to play underneath the letter E than it is to play underneath the letter S. I think you need HIOT to play underneath the letter S compared to the E that is easier.
Yeah, I think you might think that is maybe he's conditioning the board, but trust me, if with the right tiles, I see George as the T, the high, the both tiles that could go right under that. So with all things being equal, it might still come down if he wants to.
True. True. All right. DEILRRT for George to move. Red under Yves would score 30, forming faceted.
Okay, but I think George has another intention in mind. For a moment, he had T high R L E D arranged, which could go right under Eves.
Yes, yes. That's a better option as it kind of opens the board a bit more and it gives him the chance to go for six more tiles.
Yeah. Okay. Interestingly, it's going for red, R E D, and that scores 30 points. Okay, back to Webin with ACEOOPR. What would you play your coin?
Maybe something as simple as poo or cool for 21, right next to G's, keeping ACER or APER. Yeah, I think that's very fine. The leaf is fine, very flexible leaf. With the right set of tiles, it could give a bingo.
Yeah, definitely. I could play that too. Okay, you see ace and rook set aside. Okay, so we might be seeing Webin go for the same spot. Ted could have come down, so he's playing rook right underneath that spot.
Arup scores 22, keeping ACE.
All right. Now it's back to George with RT high L M K O.
Now, I think the board is pretty conditioned to an extent. I think the board is pretty conditioned to an extent because of the P that is there, and you have to play, maybe starting from the letter T, or yeah, there's really not much one can do on this board. It looks pretty conditioned to me.
Yeah, we could say that, considering if you're trying to play above it, above rope, your options are very restricted to just O, I believe. Your bingo starting from O, and then a seven letter cannot come down vertically just beside rope. But I believe who done it does take an S. So it might come down a bingo with from starting with S would could come down right beside who done it.
It goes for Milko for 26 points. All right. A, B, C, E, G, M, U. Yes, if the letter K was placed perfectly on this board, Megabuck would or might come down. But yes, that's Gambe. We see Gambe for 38 points.
All right, back to George. We see RTGINAT, and I think we should be saying a bingo of rotating on this turn. This is through the O of Dari, and he's wasting no time, absolutely going for it, and that will be committed for 84 points.
Beautiful find. What an amazing play from him. That eyesight, simply wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen George a couple of times played live from this stream, and I do not really expect anything less. He's a very fast and versatile player. He sees his words and goes for it almost immediately.
As it
Very good
should,
eye indeed.
as it should. Yes. Tochi Nwali says, Gamb begum. Well, looks like he does Gambe instead. And he said, good eye. Yes, good eye indeed. Finding rotating to that O and making it fit perfectly. Simply beautiful for looking
Yeah,
in that direction.
definitely. All right, so it's back to Weibin with a rack of UBONCIE. What are his options here, Coin?
Let's see. I mean, if he does blue, BLUE, playing to the L of laws, I think for 17, I think that's fine. Or, Cobb next to Gambe. Although the UG spot is there, the V, there's still the V and there's still the H, so and then O and A, so you might not want to give out that spot. But I think doing blue, yeah, I think doing blue is fine.
Okay. Nwali says it's written for a close end game situation. Yeah, we might be seeing that, especially if the players continue to go neck for neck through the end game. So I'm really curious to see how this turns out.
I think it's always very exciting to see games where you really do not know who is going to win until the very last
And
play. Yes, I think it's very interesting.
very interesting indeed. I mean, we've seen games on this stream where players will go neck to neck, or even a player would be leading the other one with a little bit of gap, and then everything changes during the end game. Either one comes from behind and still with just very little points and then win the game.
Yes, I think that's how funny the dynamics of a game can change in the end game situation because a wrong move can cost one the game.
Definitely. So the current scores are 271 for George to Wabin's 313. And it's Wabin's turn to make a move.
Can we take a look at George's time? 17 minutes.
I mean, earlier on, I think me and Excel, we've talked about this, about how Nigerians can be very fast. And particularly, we've seen George a lot of times in this stream, and he has been very, very, very fast indeed. So I'm not surprised.
I mean, he has a like over 10 minutes advantage. over his opponent. His opponent is on
Yeah.
7 minutes, he's on 17 minutes. That's more than enough time for him to, that he needs for him to go into the end game.
Yeah, I noticed a pattern with him. Towards the end game, he always have like above 10 minutes left on his clock, and he always makes the best use of it. So we might be seeing something similar
I do think so. I
in
do
this
think so.
game.
Like we said, he might be leading now, but we have 20 tiles left in the bag. It's still anybody's game, and it would not want to make any costly mistakes at this point.
Definitely, but time pressure is something he also have to consider, especially during the end game, which can affect one's decision making. So, considering he has just 6 minutes left now to his opponent's 17 minutes.
And one can think that the reason why it's taking so much time to play is because he lost the previous game on stream, and you would not want to lose two games in a row on stream. You would want to win as many games as possible going forward. So, yeah, that might be a reason why he's being extra careful in this game.
Definitely, that's a thought to consider. Considering two losses in a row might just change your dynamics and can really affect your games afterwards.
Yes, so it's really nice to see both players on stream today. And yes, they've been playing very well. Gadflies, the beautiful sight of rotating, simply amazing. Who done it? I think,
I mean, I learned that
yeah,
one
that should be
today.
my highlights of the who done it.
Yeah, good and amazing word power from Weibin, I must say.
Yes, 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 indeed. All right, looks like he's finally making his play.
Okay, yes, it is. And I see he shaked his head a little. All right. I
All
love to
right,
see
yeah.
some emotions from our players on
Yes,
stream.
please. Yes, please. Most of the time, a lot of them are just they act very indifferent.
Mm-hmm. It might be a technique as well, not to really let the other player read their yeah, so it happens. So we see it's going for Sions, Cion, I believe. Yeah. Okay. I think they're having a bit of an issue, probably with the time.
Now I wonder what the issue must be. All right, we wonder what the issue must might be. I think it's an issue with the timer.
Yeah, I
Maybe the
believe
timer
so.
went off or got reset or something.
Okay, but period to that, I think George was on about 17 minutes to Wabin's 4 minutes.
I think so too. I think so too. I think they're about to get them another timer. All right, ASSEE, and we see OCA come down
Okay,
for
somebody's
10.
asking what the commotion. I think it's been sorted now, but the issue was with the timer, and that has been sorted now.
Yes, sorry for the little disruption.
Yeah, so sound came down from Webbing, and immediately George replied with Oka OCA. Now it's back to Webbing. With the rack of RHUBENS. Think it must begin to, it might be feeling the time pressure slowly closing in.
Yeah. Hull, however, scores 27. I think that would help him extend his lead, even further. Currently, is leading with about 55, so plus 27. That makes it about 72
Okay,
and
that has
82.
come down from Webbing.
Yes.
And going back to George, we see ASSEEIN. All right. I think the two S's might really be of good use for him to actually come back into this game. So I think I see a bingo through the G of rotating. He could play Agenizes, I believe. Yeah, definitely. Agenizes would fit through that.
Also a Genesis, 61 points
Oh,
as well.
interesting. Genesis, Agenizes. I believe that's the anagram.
All right then.
No, no, don't worry. Can see.
All right. A Agenizes comes down for 61.
And I think we should be seeing a response from England.
Sterner, Sterner, 82 points. After Agenizes, the score is George 342 and Weibin's 363.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So we see Stena coming down for 82 points by Weibin.
And I think we might have to call it a game as Weibin would now be leading with about 100 points. And yes,
Okay, and I think we have just four acts left, four tiles left, I believe. Wow.
and it
Oh,
looks like George is taking his highest move of highest score 51. Tava
wow.
Tava for 51 points. Someone in chat says unblockable Stena. Yes, I think even if it was a Genesis or a Genesis, just like he played, Stena would still land on this board.
Definitely.
Current scores 393, 445. And you can see that Weibin finishes with NOUR for 19 points. And yes, we've come to the end of this game.
Wow. This really took an interesting turn, to be
Very
honest.
interesting turn, if you ask me.
Wow.
The From the beginning of the game, we saw gadflies come down as as the first move by Weibin, and then we saw Pixie. George was trying to balance his rack and see what he could do. Then he got all consonant, and then he had to change. After changing, his opponents came in with who done it for 62 points. Prior to that, he scored 51. So the scores were about 96 to 216 in Weibin's favor, and G's, um, red and the likes, and then rotating. I think that was beautiful eyesight from
Yeah,
him. Rotating
definitely.
came down for a whooping 84 points, and then as soon as he played Agenizes to get back into the game, to closing up the margin,
Mm-hmm.
he replied with Weeby replied with
Then,
Stena for 82 points.
I mean, we could say Stena was the turning point of this game
Yes,
because
I
if,
think that was what gave him the game.
yeah, he gave him the game despite the time pressure. Very impressive play from both
Both
players,
players
and
indeed.
that seals the win for Weibin once again.
I
Oh,
mean, I think it should feel good now as he lost the last game on stream,
yeah,
but now, he's won this game. And yes, I think taking the time to actually look at what he could do at that point in time
yeah,
actually
it really
paid
did
off.
feel the game.
Yes, I think it did pay off. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Still round 15, round 16 is going to come very soon. Please like, subscribe to the channel, drop a message in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from, your favorite game so far on stream, your favorite word. Yes, just let us know.
All right, see you soon.